Welcome into the Man Cave Experience. And again, this is an experience. This is just Cedric and I showing up. Today we're showing up Sunday morning, which is not typical for us. Kind of a gloomy, overcast day here in Southern California. Feeling fantastic, feeling energized, got my cup of Java. And I'm just checking in with my buddy Ced. So Ced, tell me what's going on in your world that's just amazing and crazy.
What's happening? What's happening out there, Cavers, man? Yeah, everything is cool out here. Well, yeah, it actually is cool out here in Texas, man. It's winter time for us, but overall, man, I'm feeling good, energized, still riding that wave of good energy from that new start or fresh start of the year.
Nice.
So yeah, man, everything is good. I hope everything good with y'all out there, man.
Yeah. To each of you guys listening in, I just, deciding, realizing your decision to have that choice, right? How you're going to experience this day, how you're going to experience each moment, and kind of lending itself to this conversation today around just the morning rituals, just how you set your day in motion. And it's so important for me, this is something that's really evolved over time, to understand how we set the tone for what life is going to be in general, but even at a smaller scale, each moment that unfolds every day. So it's like once we wake up in the morning and we start our day, what is your process as a listener? I'm going to pose this question to you, Cedric. That really kind of inspires you, that connects you to what you want from your day, that really gives you the best possible opportunity to fully step into everything that's possible for you, not just in your life, but how you're going to experience that day. Because each day obviously leads to how you experience much of your life. So for me, it is that very very detailed plan that I've actually now created. It's like waking up at a certain time, doing a little quick morning stretch just to kind of feel my body, getting up and journaling, something that I've really, have kind of dabbled in from time to time, but just those early thoughts of gratitude and what I want to experience in the day, and just, creating some intentions in my mind and putting it on paper, having my cup of coffee, and then I'm off to the gym, so I'm interested for you, Ced, because I know when I was actually in person with you, you really inspired me to look at just the motivational speakers that also inspire you and what you want to create in your life. To just hear those things, we can hear them in our mind, but we can also hear them from others and what inspires them to, show up. So I'm curious for you, just as you wake up in the morning and as you kind of set your day in motion, what are some of your rituals that have led to success for you in your life?
Ooh, rituals, man. They've changed over just over the course of the time we've known each other. Honestly, when we very first met, I didn't have morning rituals. The only ritual I had was wake up, fix the bed, brush your teeth, wash your face. That was it. But now, man, as I've grown and learned, it's like I listen to motivational speakers. That's one of the things I do first thing in the morning. Even with, like, when I'm brushing my teeth and making the bed and doing all of that stuff, that's a real big part of it. And that's multifaceted. It's a lot of reasons behind that. One, just in studying what others have done before me that's doing what I'm trying to do, it's something that you got to have structure in your day. Some tighter than others, and I'm one of those. I'm veteran, so I gotta have structure. Not down to the last hour, but I need to know what I'm doing with my day. Because if it's not there, then I'm gonna just run amok, and I kind of, like, quote unquote, get ADHD, and it's just I start this, drop that, start this, drop that. And plus, a part of that too is I'm a speaker, so I'm listening, I'm working while I'm, quote unquote, doing nothing, or just the autopilot stuff. So I'm just listening, and plus the stuff that they have to say is good stuff. Like, that's where I learned, Les Brown, drops of knowledge, like your brain, the first 20 minutes of the day, your brain is firing the highest, and is the most receptive. So put something in your mind positive versus going to, oh, let me go and find my Facebook and see how I can comment.
Yeah.
And now I've gotten, or I'm getting, I won't say I've gotten, I'm getting into the practice of journaling, because now I wake up and I'm listening and all these thoughts are there. Whereas I used to just say, okay, it's in me. I'll remember it. Oh man, that was a fantastic thought. And then halfway throughout the day, I've forgotten it. So just kind of writing it down, and so I can go back and look at it, because that's when my mind is clear and it's like, okay, let me be intentional now, which that was something I learned. Now I'm more intentional versus reactive with my day.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
And
how do I want to?
yeah, it's funny when you bring that up, and I didn't mean to interrupt you. It's just, we as men, we had a conversation, or I had a conversation with, a group of people the other day, and we started as a group, kind of bringing into this, our process of journaling, and then sharing something within our journal that isn't like a personal thing, but just more, this is an action that I took. This is something I did that's kind of cool. And most of the men that responded to that were like, well, I'm not like a journaler, or I'm not one that puts my feelings out there. So I think, this conversation, obviously we have men and women that are in our audience that are listening, which you can get value from this, just knowing that your spouse as a woman, that may have these difficulties in expressing himself in a journal, or you men that are listening in, knowing that doesn't make you anything, doesn't, I guess, empower yourself to put your feelings out there. Even if you can't put them out physically because of challenges, at least putting them out, getting them outside of your thought process, you actually see them and share them with yourself is so important. So I think when you're saying this, and we're talking about us journaling, this is something that's been just, I think, challenging for men in general. So, know that men, know that women. But the other thing I was going to ask you said was, if, I'm going to put you on the spot here, because I love when you're just kind of thinking outside of the box and spontaneous. If you were to create like one inspirational thought that you could like put out there right now, that everybody that could listen to right now, what would that thought be?
Oh, it's simple. That's my mantra for this year: learn and serve.
Mm.
Um,
And I think what's cool about that is, when we set something in our mindset as far as something we want to listen to subconsciously, especially as men, then we think that we have to like take immediate action versus just hearing those words, right? Making them part of our, our internal, conversation, these thoughts that come into our mindset, and how important that is for us. So when you said that, it's like I heard the words, but then you like think about just how that can just be part of a ritual, morning ritual, something that I can allow into my awareness. And sometimes it'll feel natural. Sometimes it'll feel like, well, I've got other words that I want to integrate. Why do I have to listen to those words? But just the openness to letting new things into your life as a ritual as you wake up in the morning, to really create the best opportunity for living life to its fullest, knowing that there's going to be shit that's going to happen, roadblocks are going to come out in front of you. But the best approach for me, and I think for Cedric as well, is just having that wake up moment. This is what I want to experience. This is what I want to express. And this is what I'm going to do, what action I'm going to take today, in my day to, to create this, to experience this, to let this manifest in my life. Because, we can have all these aspirations and thoughts about doing something, but if we don't take the action and create, all of the things that need to happen to ensure this, to come to fruition, it just kind of sits there as a dream or a wish or a hope.
yeah, definitely. So, man, because I was writing some stuff about that the other day. And man, it's, y'all, it's like how I look at it is I've come to understand, and I wish, or I wouldn't say wish, but my hope is that everybody could start to get or have that same type of relationship with time. Because to me, that's what it all really boils down to. That's the most valuable thing that we have is time, and it's really not really going way off into it. It's nothing, it's man-made, but that's what drives our life. The rising of the sun, the set, and you know, the setting of the sun in our day.
Mhm.
But I get to, and I'm learning more and more, we are creators. I know I am a creator.
Yeah.
So I get to create what it is I want to do with my day. I get to create what it is, not necessarily what comes into my mind, but what I let dwell in my mind.
Yep.
And personally, I feel like when you first wake up, that's the start of your 24 hours, you know? So from there, I have to be intentional with my time. Like, what am I wasting time on? And also understanding that a lot of things won't just happen instantly.
Mhm.
You know, I got to get out of that instant gratification mind.
Right.
Because, yes, it's weird, you know, even to this day, because I'm not a big journaler. You know, coming up in the 80s and the 90s, you know, that was something that was quote unquote feminine, you know, so I always looked at it different. All this stuff that I'm doing now, believe it or not, you know, mindfulness, and you would kind of hear about it, but it was like, nope, that's the women. The women go and talk to therapists, blah, 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 blah. And when you were just speaking earlier, man, it made me think about us as men. We would tell other men in congratulations, sometimes on our sons and nephews or whatever, that, hey, it takes a real man to admit that he's wrong, right?
Mhm.
But if you really think about it, that's an emotional response. So
Mhm.
we can be emotional. We just choose which parts based on judgment.
Right.
So why not start your day off to be the best man you can be?
Right.
Because nobody, at the end of the day, nobody's gonna know what you're doing behind the scenes anyway.
Right.
At the end of the day, they're gonna just see, man, it's a stand-up dude. This dude is trying to do good dude, doing good stuff. And you was, but what they won't know is, hey, in the morning you was writing a journal, you had your eyes closed, meditating with a singing bowl, whatever, or standing in the mirror for 10 minutes, looking yourself in the eyes, telling yourself, I love you, or listening to you, whatever it is.
Mhm.
Nobody's gonna know that.
Right.
So this is just a plea to the men and the women, to the people out there listening. Get past that judgment
Yeah.
and be intentional in your morning, however that is for you.
Mhm.
Because I know it works for me, and I'm becoming a way better person by
Right.
doing it. And over time, you know, it's like driving a manual. At first, you don't know where first is, but after a while, you know, you can go from first to reverse in the stick shift
Right.
without even thinking about it.
Yeah.
You know, it becomes natural.
Right. And I think it is that willingness to create that subtle, simple, peaceful, open question for yourself. You know, just asking yourself, you know, what do I stand for? And then, you know, as men, we want to have the longest list, and we want to compare ourselves to everybody else, right? It's like, well, my list is longer than yours. It's not about that. It's just about what do you stand for that is meaningful for you, because you know, you may sit in a place that doesn't necessarily connect with what I stand for, and we can have mutual respect for each other. I think when we come from a place of love, when we come from a place of compassion, then you know, the things that we want to stand for, I think, are going to be not controversial. They're going to be things that are just a different lens that this person's looking through, that we can say, you know what, I don't see things exactly how you see, or I don't come from that same place, but I can respect that, and I can understand, based on your own kind of upbringing and your own journey, that resonates with you. Are you willing to hear, you know, what resonates with me as far as what I stand for? And those are questions in conversation you can have in your day as you really move into this place of setting, you know, an early intention in your life or in your day to really live the day how you want to live it. But it's just getting back to my original point, is just asking the question and letting the answers come as they come, not feeling like you need to always have answers, because sometimes we don't. You know, as human beings, you know, we're always searching, we're always trying to figure things out, we're always trying to find the answers. And sometimes the answers come at points of our life that we're not unexpecting it. when you ask the question, what is my purpose? You wake up in the morning and you don't feel purposeful. You don't, nothing that you're looking for in your day really seems to add any content or value to what your purpose is in life. But sometimes you don't even know what your purpose is.
Yeah.
So just willing to wake up in the morning, whatever your ritual is, nothing right, nothing wrong. This is a judgment-free zone. And just creating just this willingness to do something every day that's going to take you closer to all the things you want to experience in your life.
Yeah.
Obviously, brushing your teeth is something you understand the benefits of, and we do it habitually because we don't want to go to the dentist and deal with cavities and all that. So we understand that, and can we as human beings, can you as a listener or anybody else that listens to this periodically or parts of this, be able to create some sort of methodology or ritual to actually open space in your life for that. And again, this could just be waking up in the morning before you actually get out of bed and just ask that question. How am I going to show up for myself and others today?
Yeah, definitely. I wanted to add to that. And I love that, dude. I really do. And I get where Ron is coming from. And what I wanted to add on to that is something I do to be able to start those questions is what is it I want to be today?
Mm-hmm.
And I take a look at my dream, and really all it is your dreams, and when we break that down using your analogy, you want to have healthy teeth, so you brush your teeth. Because why that is, folks, is because the people that do that, they think about the future and maybe what they don't want. Oh, I don't want gums, or dentures or whatever. So I brush my teeth. If you want to be that better husband, see that picture. And the point that I'm adding is there's one other step. Maybe I would say there's probably 3 steps, and I'm working on a video on it. The first step is you got to think it. Once you see it, and part of the seeing it is just thinking it. You're going to think it up. Who do I want to be? You're thinking about it. Then I would say you got to speak that. 4 parts, actually, not just that. You got to speak that. Speak it into existence. And personally, I believe there's power in just saying something in the universe. There's power in words. It may not happen instantly, but you just have to become comfortable with just saying it. Whatever it is. I am a good husband. I am a good wife. I am a business owner. And then you can, as you start to step more into that and hearing it, faith comes from hearing and hearing and hearing of the word. So just hearing yourself all the time, then that's going to create that faith that I am this. The third is write it down, because we are humans. And as we age, and I don't know the age out there, I don't care what age you are, we tend to forget. And so you have something you can go back on. But the fourth and final is the most important part, and that is to take action. Mm-hmm. Because we can write it down. You can write it down, take a picture, like they said in the movie Friday. Write it down, take a picture. I don't care, right? At the end of the day, you just thinking it is not going to change the situation. Oh, I want $1 million in the bank. Oh, I want $1 million in the bank. No, you're going to have to take some action. Oh, I want healthier teeth. If you just think it and you don't brush your teeth aren't going to be healthy. So we have to take action. Yeah. Those 4 things on top of what Ron is saying is set that intention.
Yeah. And you have to go through all those steps, right? Because if you try to, kind of skip forward and bypass one of those steps, you're not going to kind of really understand the process. And the other thing I was thinking about, because there are those probably listening in to say, I still struggle with just starting my day. I don't know where to start. Well, maybe you reverse engineer it. Maybe you look at, maybe you kind of ask yourself at the end of the day what your experience was. And then that's going to give you a clear indication of what you didn't do during the day to actually create that. And then if it's, I didn't have any positive conversations. I didn't make that phone call. I didn't, I didn't eat that right food. Start looking back in your decision process through your day that resulted in the end of the day laying your pillow on your head on your pillow and having all these frustrations with what you wanted, and you didn't experience that. Maybe you start there. I mean, we're just two men having a conversation. We still struggle. I mean, there's times where I'm putting out there that this is my ritual, and then something goes sideways and I don't execute it completely. But I will be honest with you, most days more than not, I am executing my plan. And the results are showing when I lay my head on my pillow at night and I've got a clear mind. I feel connected to my heart. I'm loving my family. I'm reflecting back on what positive things happened, and being okay with those things that didn't go well, knowing that that's a learning opportunity. So think about that. Think about laying your head on your pillow at night and just reflecting on how you're feeling about your day. And if there's part of that process where it doesn't feel right, then go back and go back through your day and really understand where that went sideways. And maybe that's that early morning ritual that you can work on to create that opportunity for shifts in your life. And when we're talking about shifts, we're not talking about, completely changing your hairstyle. We're not talking about changing how you dress. We're talking about just shifting your mindset of not looking at things what I can do. It's like, what can I do? I mean, it's subtle shifts. Instead of waking up at 5 o'clock, I'm going to wake up at 4:55, and I'm going to I'm going to have a period of intentional thinking of what I want to experience in this day. Subtle shifts. This doesn't have to be this whole huge. You will notice huge shifts in your life as a result of committing to what you really want and creating those habits. But in the moment, it's just being willing to take small steps. Building momentum, leaning into those areas that you don't necessarily feel are comfortable, but still moving forward.
Hell yeah. In the spirit of football, being able to go and look at the playbook, like, let me look at this play. Okay, we didn't get the first down. What happened?
Right.
Right? What can I do? Oh, you blocked left when you're supposed to block right. Yeah, for all my sports fans out there, or did we shift the outfield the right way? Whatever. I like that.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's important in that process to, at times when we feel like we're in judgment mode, it's like, no, I'm okay with a mistake. This is a learning opportunity, because I think otherwise we're going to get frustrated. We're going to beat ourselves down, and we're going to give up, and we're going to go back to our old habit, because our old habit, we know what to expect. Even if it's not nourishing, we're going to recreate that loop on a regular basis, because even though at the end of the day I lay my head on my pillow and I feel I'm pissed off, I hate the world, I don't feel loved, I know that game. So that's the unfortunate thing about us as human beings, is we do sometimes get in these habits of this loop of creating the same behavior, because we know exactly how to play that game. Cedric and I have heard this. Yeah, Cedric and I have heard this many, many times. It's like, you're winning the game you're playing. So if you're miserable, then you're playing the great miserable game. So if you're successful, you're taking actions and you're creating that success. It doesn't just happen.
Yeah. Man, I love what you just said back there. A learning opportunity. Yeah. There's no failure. So what? It's a learning opportunity.
Right.
Now it's on you to see if you're going to change the play or not.
Right.
Like that.
And the other thing that we brought up here before, in Cedric and I, we do the best we can, and there's probably times where we could take advantage of this even more. So you, the listener, especially you men, seek help, ask questions. Don't feel like you have to figure it all out. Confide in somebody. You can share a struggle that you're having, knowing that you want something different. Seek help. I mean, we don't have to go through life with this ego-driven, I can figure it all out, I don't need any help. If I do ask for help, I'm a pussy, or I'm lesser than, or I'm weak. No, I look at those men as being powerful when they reach out, because they don't necessarily have the tools to step forward. And that's where we empower them with what our knowledge is to teach them, to encourage them, to support them. And that we all navigate our life at different times when we're in that same position where we need that help, or we can offer that help. It's the teacher student relationships. Sometimes we're the teacher, sometimes we're the student, sometimes we're both. And I think that's, for me, an important part of my process is, oftentimes I feel like I'm the teacher. I'm trying to encourage, the support, and really allow people to step into things that kind of scare the shit out of them, or they're uncertain if they can experience that. But sometimes I'm just the listener and trying to engage and learn, and really grow my own persona as well. It's like we don't have to look at ourselves as one or the other. It could be, one or the other as well as both, that really open up the space for growth, for teaching, for encouraging others to be the best, possible versions of themselves.
And I don't know if it's safe to say this, but I'll ask for I'm not gonna ask for permission first. I'll ask for forgiveness. But don't be afraid to not be the stereotypical man or the stereotypical version of masculinity.
Right.
Break the mold, man. Don't be afraid.
Yeah.
Just remember, it takes a real man to ...
Mm-hmm.
and insert the new behavior you want. It takes a real man to do this stuff. Like, get out of that stereotypical bravado, man. That's old news, man. That's what we here to do, man.
Yeah.
I know that's why I love coming into this space, because it's just us chopping it up.
Yeah. So what I'm committing to you, Cedric, to you, the listener, is my continued journey of how I experience my morning. What are the rituals that I have in place that are serving me well? What are the rituals I have in place that don't serve me well? And really be mindful of that. And I've taken that to the next level of actually putting it on paper. This is when I wake up. This is when I, get up and journal. This is when so I know, my mind knows, my brain knows, this is what you've set up to succeed. And there's going to be times where that doesn't happen, but that's my roadmap and success. And then also my willingness to listen to my thoughts, reflect on my day. So you, the listener, and I'm speaking to you as well, Cedric, use this action step in your life to really understand how you're going to live your day. Again, you could start in the morning. What rituals am I implementing in my life? What can I add to it to create, just the best possible space for, as I step out into the real world? I'm leaving my place where I just, spent sleeping hours, and now I'm rejuvenated, and I want to, now impact the world. What are you doing in the morning to allow that to come, into fruition? Or it doesn't have to be either or, it could be both. So that time in the morning where you create this ritual of learning and reflecting and integrating and implementing, but also at the end of the day, how am I feeling at the end of the day as a result of what actions and how I started my day? And just creating that balance of, early seeds of intention, how I want to experience, and then at the end of the day, how that manifested. And then if it's not coming together as far as your experience, what, kind of backtracking, where did it go sideways? I made it till 11 o'clock feeling fantastic. And then what happened when I just got in the shitty mood and started becoming reactive? Was it some food I ate? Was it this person that I'm allowing to take my power, or I'm giving my power away? So all these things that we potentially do consciously or unconsciously, I'm putting it out there for you. I'm listening to myself saying this, and I'm encouraging you, the listeners, to really just be aware of what goes on in your day, knowing that you can learn from each moment. You can shift things in your life, and you can create the impact that you want to in your own life and other people's lives.
Yeah, man. I'll definitely take you up on that, man. Take you up, because I can always use to get better in that section, at everything. So I'll definitely do that. And man, if I had, I wouldn't be the motivational speaker that I am if I didn't say it like this. Simply put, be a creator of your day and of your life, and start to take action to be and do the things you really, truly want to do.
Mm-hmm.
Create it.
Yeah. Love that. And just do you, right? Just do.
Do you.
We love you, listeners. Maybe we know there's times where certain topics that we talk about might connect more with with you at times than others. What we would always appreciate is any comments on things that might help inspire you to move forward in your life. We're always open to integrating different thoughts and ideas and different ways of putting this information out there. Cedric and I were talking before, and then I'll say my goodbyes. Before we got on here today, of just this space that we've created as friends on this earth that is going to be forever, and we truly value that part of what we do in this place called the Man Kave Experience that we are putting out into the ether that will be out there forever, and being okay with that. And at the end of the day, if it's shifted us as men, as fathers, as men, as people, human beings on this earth, then we're extremely successful in what we do.
Yeah. Amen to that, brother. Amen to that.
Love y'all.
Love y'all, man.
Next time in the cave, and impact people every day of your life.
Yes. Learn and serve. Give back.
Yep.
All right, y'all. Till next time.